So yeah, I don't want to hear that Triple H isn't racist anymore. I really don't. And I'm not going to show either one of these pictures because they're both extremely disgusting. But to now have to see Trick Williams during a match with a Caucasian man get hung up during the match, and then just a few minutes ago on NXT had to get whipped by a Caucasian man is disgusting. And sure, you could tell me that, oh, well, the getting hung part was by accident. And you know what? We can go back and forth on that. And at the end of the day, I probably would agree with you, but I'm still going to bring it up anyways. This getting whipped thing, though, yeah, this is what we're not doing. You cannot okay this, not in Black History Month, and not at all. And don't try to even tell me that it's storylines. This is not storylines. WWE does not do these super deep storylines that you need to be like an adult to understand. Most of them are very much so kid-friendly to understand. Like, they bleep out vulgar language because of the fact that they have a child-based audience which they're marketed to, but also they're sponsored as well. But even on Netflix, they still bleep out vulgar language because of their child-based audience. WWE is still TVPG. What kid, especially a young Black kid, needs to be sitting there with their parents watching a wrestling show where a Black man is getting whipped by a Caucasian male? And before you try to say that none of this is Triple H, dude, Triple H is in charge of WWE and NXT when it comes to any of the storylines and anything that would really be happening. He gives the final okay on all of this stuff. Yes, Shawn Michaels oversees NXT, and you know he's the one that does put together a lot of this stuff, but he has to go to Triple H to get it okayed. And I'm telling you right now, this is not okay, but I'm not surprised because this is Triple H. Y'all want to act like Triple H is so much better than Vince McMahon. No, he is not. He is the exact same person as him. Maybe he ain't doing some of the other weird, sick stuff behind the scenes, but he's definitely doing the racist stuff, and it is 100% evident. And you know what? I wasn't even going to say it, but when I was watching Royal Rumble with my girl, I said, why did the two Black people have to be the first two to be out of the Royal Rumble, Carmelo Hayes and B-Fab? Couldn't it be anybody else? Oh, wait. This is Triple H when it comes to Black folk, because we know how he feels about Black.
This is a company where two Mexicans fought in a ladder match for the custody of a child. This is a company where people were selling cereal known as Booty O's. This is a company where the former owner just said the N-word for comedic effect in front of a Black guy who looked at the camera or looked at his wife and said, "Tell me I did not just see that." This is a company where a dude got strapped to a makeshift cross. I don't know if it's people just discovering WWE over the past month, but somebody taking a belt and whipping another man is not a new thing. Where were any of you last year when The Rock was whipping Cody in the middle of the parking lot, and after the show was over, they told him stop, and he kept going because they wanted it to be as real as possible for dumb motherfuckers like you that see something like that and thinking yourself, haha, fight back against the evil white man. But when it's flipped and the Black dude getting whipped, it's, oh my God, how dare you do this to me on Black History Month? You can't do things like this. This is not scripted. How dare, what are you talking about? They plan all this shit out throughout the week. Sometimes they plan it the day of. That is why people love watching this shit as entertainment. Yes, these motherfuckers are throwing each other to and from, and they landed on ladders, and their backs are hurting, and their elbows hurt, and they get injured from this shit. But it's predetermined. It's a TV show meant to entertain you with the high-flying action, the powerful, muscle-meaty men, the vivacious women, the stories, you stupid, petulant motherfucker. This is a company where the most obscene, hilarious shit has gone on. We've watched a motherfucker named Hornswoggle get kicked in the chest. What the fuck have you been watching over the past number of years of your life that you see this shit and you start saying, oh my God, I can't take it. As a black man. And I see you responding to other motherfuckers talking about, oh, since you're white, you really don't have the leeway to speak about this.
So, Jeffrey, what's so good about a Caucasian man whipping a Black man on TV? Go ahead and tell us, Jeffrey. Because you think it's such a good storyline and good for television, what's so good about seeing Trick Williams get whipped by a Caucasian male? Also, for the people who said he's Native American, you do know the dude's mixed, right? Native and Caucasian. And Jeffrey, actually go back to your comment. You said Eddie's been using this for weeks now. Look at the two names you named, Obafemi and Trick Williams. Oh, so it's good for television and good story to see a Caucasian man whipping two black men.
Yes, you dumb fuck. He's a heel, which means bad guy, which means he's going to cheat to try to get an upper hand and injure his opponent, who more likely than not is a babyface, aka a good guy, a nice guy, a charismatic, charming individual who the people love. The fuck are you talking about?
Oh, you mean the same Caucasian man that lied that a black man attacked him when it was really himself the entire time? Oh, so Eddie Thorpe's character is racist. That's the character that he's playing. Yeah, this is why maybe those of y'all that kind of, look like Jeffrey probably shouldn't be speaking up too much, because you're just digging further holes for yourselves and for y'all community. But hey, that's on y'all, though.
As a motherfucker who's darker than you, shut the fuck up and enjoy the show, or stop watching it. This is why when people have these conversations about which fandom in entertainment is the worst, and people talk about, the Marvel fans, like the comic book fans, y'all need to start considering the anime and manga fans. Y'all need to really put wrestling fans at the front of it, because these are the most inconsistent bastards to face the earth. They complain about new stars or people who are over not getting booked. Then when Jey Uso wins the Royal Rumble, oh, that's the wrong choice. Why are they doing this? Why didn't they give it to LA Knight? Which I can agree with, but at least they gave you something and you still complain. You motherfuckers will look at a part-timer holding a championship and say, I want that motherfucker to lose it because he's never on Raw or SmackDown. Then he loses it, and then you complain about the person who beat him to the point where you want the part-timer back. And no, it ain't just Roman. Y'all did that shit with Brock. Y'all did that shit with The Rock. Y'all doing that shit with John Cena at the current moment, when he eventually wins that championship and is basically a fucking part-timer. But back to the main dude. You can't sit here and start crying about racism as if that's going to change the groundwork of what's going on in their storyline. It's the usual motherfucker is cocky enough to think they could beat one of the big dogs on NXT, but they start to realize that, that big dog Trick Williams, he whooping Trick all over the fucking place. So he tries to create a disadvantage for Trick, which is beating him down, hanging him and beating him, and going on about his merry way, and whipping him to make him weak for his eventual match with Trick Williams, where 9 times out of 10, he's going to lose to Trick Williams, and reparations will be given out to absolutely fucking nobody. This is meant to entertain you, not for you to be having think pieces about black people being oppressed in slavery back when nobody was alive to fucking witness our ancestors going through that shit. And yes, we can talk about black wrestlers not being booked to absolute perfection. That is not a new fucking thing. And no matter the change of regime, you're gonna have motherfuckers who are going to be in mid-card positions. Yes, you can hope in the future there'll be more motherfuckers who are a little bit in that upper echelon. I think Trick Williams could be a great world heavyweight champion in the future. Now, absolutely fucking not. I think Carmelo Hayes could be a great WWE champion in the future. Absolutely. Right now, no fucking way in hell. I think Bianca Belair is a standard in this fucking company as to talk about black female wrestlers. Right now, she's a champion. She's a tag team champion, but nobody respects the WWE Tag Team Women's Championships, so we just throw that to the fucking side. I don't. You did.
The last video I'm going to make on this topic, because y'all are not going to listen either way. Let's look at the Royal Rumble. The first 2 people that were taken out were 2 black people, Carmelo Hayes and B-Fab.
And with your obsession with people getting thrown out of the Royal Rumble 1st, 2nd, 3rd, 4th, 5th, who cares? None of these people won. They are meant to be thrown over the top rope. It don't matter who get thrown out first. No matter if it's a man, a girl, a black person, a Mexican. It don't matter. What matters is the person who wins. And who was it? Jey Uso. Somebody who I'm certain you probably bitched about winning because you don't know how to book yourself to tie your own fucking shoe.
And sure, you can use the excuse that Carmelo Hayes being taken out early makes a lot of sense because of his character. Did he need to be the first one, though? Probably not. But why was B-Fab taken out so quick? Couldn't Chelsea Green have been taken out? That makes a lot of sense for her character. And before you say, but she's the Women's United States champion, you need to make her look strong. We ain't made Chelsea Green look strong this entire time, so why do we need to start now at the Royal Rumble at the expense of B-Fab?
I feel like I'm teaching a child shapes, and he's determined to fit this round ball into a rectangular black hole. And for any of you who don't know, the Royal Rumble is essentially a battle royal where in like 1 to 2 minute intervals, people come out and it's like 30 men, and the goal is to be the last person standing in the ring. And I guess in this dude's mind, it's upsetting to him that the first people eliminated were black people, as if that fucking matters when the entire objective is to win a match. And I need to remind you all that all of this is predetermined. So all they got to do is coordinate with each other and figure out how they're all going to go about eliminating and getting the eliminations done and finishing within a certain time frame so that they can move on to the next thing or in the show. It does not matter. Now, some of these fucking eliminations will lead to future matches down the line, but I'm telling you this with a straight face. I don't even remember who eliminated Carmelo, nor do I care that he was the first person eliminated. I definitely don't give a fuck that he was the first black man eliminated. Why? Because I was more worried about if John Cena was gonna win this shit in the most predictable fashion possible, and I was surprised that he didn't. Oh my God, what if that white man John Cena came in and won? Oh, a spot he took from the black wrestlers who are not going to be main eventing WrestleMania probably for the next 2 years, because we got to worry about the Roman Reignses, the Seth Rollinses, the CM Punks, the Drew McIntyres. In the future, I do believe somebody like Trick Williams and Obafemi can main event a WrestleMania, but that's the future. They're not getting fired tomorrow. That's the future. And what you must do with the future is develop them so that when they go to the main roster, they can captivate a fucking audience and be able to be looked at as main eventers, not petulant, precious little babies who deserve it based on your perception of skin color being the only metric of success. And B-Fab, I don't know how to break it to anybody, and much love to B-Fab, but when the fuck did she start wrestling? Because I swore she was like a manager for 2 dudes, but I think one of them got fired and the other one got demoted. I have not paid attention to B-Fab like that, because for as long as I've seen B-Fab, she's never really been a wrestler. She's been a manager, and she was good at that role. But hey, I don't want to see her fail. It's just I haven't seen her in that position at all. So the sky's the limit. But again, it don't really fucking matter, especially when the end result was Charlotte winning, which was the predictable fucking outcome.
And then y'all want to bring up the women's tag team champions of Jade and Bianca, or I guess now Bianca and Naomi. Buddy, does that even matter? Like, let's keep it real for 2 seconds. Does the women tag team champions actually matter to anybody? Nobody cares about these belts. And Bianca Belair, unlike Rhea Ripley, did not get any kind of women's championship matches in 2024. I had to see Rhea's white self get multiple women's championship matches. Bianca can't get one, even though she literally had a feud with Liv, a mini feud with Liv that never resulted in her getting a women's championship match. Shout out to Naomi getting one, because that's pretty cool. But Bianca, who was on the cover of 2K24 alongside Rhea, couldn't get the same push as Rhea, even though Bianca is way more talented than Rhea. Like, the tag team champions, the women's tag team champions are at the bottom in terms of every single championship. And that's where we put our 2 black wrestlers. That sounds familiar. You know what's so funny too? Judgment Day, Finn Balor and JD McDonough, to be specific, had a literal breakup of like Judgment Day and all that. Had a bunch of issues going on down there, right? Not completely broken up, but you know what I mean. They've gotten multiple tag team shots. I have not seen Xavier Woods and Kofi Kingston get one. They just broke up, and we thought it was going to be a super big storyline with Big E and all that. They haven't got one.
Just because something aggravates you or you don't like it doesn't mean it's racism. You could chalk it up to you not liking your favorite wrestlers being demonized or beaten, but I need to fucking remind you, it's a fucking storyline. Your favorite wrestlers aren't going to be dominating every single fucking week. Maybe they'll get like a month stretch of just being like the strongest, baddest motherfucker, but then eventually another motherfucker gonna come in and wash this motherfucker. What? Obafemi beating the fuck out of Trick Williams. What you calling that? Black on black crime? No, you calling it two meaty motherfuckers going at it and one meaty motherfucker beating another meaty motherfucker, and Obafemi reigns supreme. And if you got a problem with the shit, stop watching it. You sensitive motherfucker who can't grasp the fact that in entertainment, in terms of telling you a story, somebody gonna get beaten and they're going to have all these injuries and they shall overcome and win in the end. And I guess in your eyes, once they get beaten, it's racism. But once they win it all the slaves have magically been freed. You fucking suck. And I hope you are never in the field of creativity, because I know for certain you're gonna bore me to death. But for the rest of you, subscribe to the channel and let me know, did you feel bad for me as a black person seeing another black person lose and get beaten? How did you feel knowing that we black people are finally free of Patrick Mahomes and his tyranny and Taylor Swift and her oppressive reign over us all, because Jalen Hurts finally decided he knew how to throw a football fucking consistently and dominate, and their defense knew how to work a pathetic ass Kansas City Chief O-line. Mwah! Subscribe to the channel. I'll see y'all in the next one. Goodbye.